Right. I thought what I'd do is every time my daughter tells me I should go and get a job, I'm going to explain what a job is and what she is actually saying when she says get a job within the framework with what I'm saying. My daughter lives in a reality because her mother and her stepfather have raised her through her teenage years in a situation where she has an Apple iPhone that has small numbers on it that says a number, and then she goes and works at a fruit and veg shop where she gets paid a certain amount of numbers that go from the fruit and veg shop to her Apple iPhone. And then she can buy things like getting her nails done and her hair done with those numbers. All participants within this rental infrastructure all live in this Apple iPhone, numbers on the screen, go to a place and work for numbers on the screen. My rejection is of the numbers of the screen because, of course, it is, because it's been the fucking place that every single fucking monstrous financial attempt has been made. It's called a debasement of a currency. Debasement of the currency. The inflation, now probably in the astronomical, is so large, but it is being kept within this Apple infrastructure on iPhones. And because they have something, in some regions, they have up to a 98% monopoly on the handheld device paradigm. And this is only being seen in like Western, top tier Western countries, because you can't do this in another place because those populations are still usually deeply rooted in the paradigm of commodities like, say, rice or grains. Now, the problem is that me doing absolutely nothing at all except this, except defending the baseline of our fucking country's entire structure. Except that, that's such a teenage thing to say. You're not doing anything except defending our entire country's baseline fucking principles that keep it from deteriorating into slavery. Oh yeah, apart from that, nah, not doing anything at all. But even if I was doing absolutely nothing, I am still financially better by doing nothing within this system because it is all just inflation. All of it is inflation. There is nothing else going on but that. There is, and what all you've done, and this, it is genius. It's monstrous, and it's going, it's leading to the destruction of the entire world. But they created the entire economy on iPhones just out of inflation. And now you're trying to send your argument across the crevasse, across the Grand Canyon, and saying, go and get a job, Dad. Every fucking brick I lay on my family estate is worth $10,000 fucking dollars in your fucking nonsense money. All of you, to your mother, to your stepfather, to your stupid brothers, and to you. Every fucking brick. Because that is the nonsense that you have been led into by your fucking retarded stepfather. I will add up the things he has lost, your mother. Do you know? It's like it's her dignity, her fucking reputation. Eventually, As soon as he gets a calculator out, as soon as basically as soon as this exits here and enters any type of actual fucking adjudication in our, operating legal system, because it's like the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. Now, I was like, well, whatever. You know what I mean? She's got to be with someone. It's like, I didn't foresee this. I didn't foresee this level, all backed on a handheld device that has no proof. And this is the problem. It's like, there's no fucking proof to anything. It's an agreed upon delusion in which you're keeping check of inflation altogether, which is creating a paradigm in which there is absolutely no need to ever own property, which is going to piss off every single person that has worked for their entire life to buy a fucking property when there's a bunch of communists with iPhones out there teaching their fucking teenagers to be disrespectful to the people defending that population of responsible Australians. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 generations deep. So why haven't I taken this to court? Because, well, that will mean, people will be killed as soon as they're made aware. I'm trying to stimulate some type of self-reflection from this group. I'm trying to stimulate autonomous education. I'm trying to stimulate, mass surrender by the Apple Corporation, by the American fucking empire, by everybody propping this up. And this isn't some elaborate banking conspiracy. It's like this elaborate banking conspiracy makes the original elaborate banking conspiracy, I suppose, but we needed something, look like fucking charity work. It makes it look like, I don't know, like almost holy in comparison. Because there was like the way that things were being hidden it just wasn't the same. It's like according to religious law, to Bible law, in all major religions, I'm pretty sure, usury is illegal. So the first instance of usury, which is when you all get anti-Semitic, really that's the only thing you have to go on, is the first instance of usury. But now you are 700,000 levels into that, and you have built monstrous usury systems with funds acquired from the original usury, and you were at war with anybody who in the last 2,000 years would be considered responsible with their finances and with their families' assets. And you're doing it on a Game Boy, basically. And you've ushered your children into the fucking world of a Game Boy. One of the last times I associated with a particular friend of mine, quite a good friend, but I just had to not associate. I went out with him, went to a place where it was one of his friends, and his friends were there, and they were smoking meth from a crack pipe around their fucking 3-year-old, 4-year-old children. And I was like, that's it. I'm never seeing that friend again. I'm not participating in transparent displays of methamphetamine smoking in front of fucking 4-year-olds. This is the same, but I would actually say worse. I would say this is worse than that. And this is taking place on an Apple iPhone in some populations at 90%, 98% monopoly in the population. The reason that we aren't screaming bloody murder in the streets is because my argument is being held back within an algorithm, because the algorithm is protecting this delusion. Because once the delusion is fully realized, the entire global financial system will evaporate. And so these algorithms at the moment, provably, by all people, by Alphabet, by Meta, by TikTok, is artificially keeping a 7-fold increase in usury paradigm, in a paradigm that's like it's propping up like a communist revolution that's just sitting there. So it's like, what do? Either I pop this thing and we have the financial crash, or I go and offload my family's asset at the highly inflated fucking price, and I go and buy 6,000 fucking automatic rifles. And I go and stake out a piece of the desert, and I put up a sign that says, any fucking loyal Australians can come here and learn how to kill fucking communists. Legally, I will do this. Completely above board, above the law. Or under the law. Is that where you want to live? Because you can look at fucking Ukrainian daughters of fucking slain soldiers fingering themselves on a fucking iPhone? During this whole thing, I've kind of, it has been so horrific, because living in a population that is lulled into security whilst participating in a global market only like allowable in wartime, in the fog of war, in this fucking disgusting fucking black market that has been propped up to the very top of our society to appease American United States imperialism in Eastern Europe. Top to bottom, entire fucking ecosystem that's got a lot of Jews in it, but it's hardly baseline usury that was established in the United Kingdom, is it? Most of your great-grandparents perhaps have a freehold title property that they have with the assistance of finance that they have acquired and protected and defended in one way or another, whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Australia, whether you're anywhere. That's a bit different. It's all very, very different, but still we're locked onto these simple percentage points of reserve banks and things like that. And that's not where the inflation is. The inflation is in societal norms that have been stripped bare. Arbitrage is the effect of when you go to countries, like, and this happens, like how many divorced fathers are going to Thailand to pay to have sex with young girls or young boys in a great display of arbitrage going on every day? How many Qantas Virgin flights fly from Australia to Thailand to participate in this sexual arbitrage tourism? Then what do we think we're participating in when ever-increasing populations of our daughters are wheeled helplessly out into the iPhone fucking whorehouse? And when you apply the inflation, what rates are they actually getting for exposing themselves permanently to this industry? Almost nothing. Like I said, I don't have to do anything at all just by sitting on the inflation that you are all causing. The property that I've also had described by my daughter and her stepfather and her mother as an absolute fucking shithole. Well, it's a shithole because I'm not there fixing it, because I'm here fighting this war. But even so, the land property value is continuously going up. More than enough to cover any rates. I've sent things to everyone, like the Shire and anyone who I would ever owe money to that says, well, you know, obviously I can pay this once I find out whether it's even worth defending it at all, because you're all trying to undermine the entire reality of our freehold titles, private property paradigm. Not by like genuine arguments or something like that, or expressions of like things that are unfair, but by undermining our social norms and our protective systems that prevent us from slipping into absolute degeneracy. That's sabotage. That's criminal sabotage. That's fucking terrorism. You turn a fucking London street into a fucking Baghdad, fucking war ground by blowing up a building, by blowing up a pub. That's the message you're sending. We will tear your country to pieces to appease our disgust over what you've supposedly done in our homeland. And what is this? We will destroy every sense of the dollar by deteriorating your society, by taking the only thing that differentiated you, which was your kind of puritanical, societal, aristocrats, like civilized societies, and we will deteriorate them into fucking drug-fueled whorehouses covered in graffiti. And we'll do it on iPhones. But I'm sorry, I just can't see some type of Mad Max future where the iPhone-wielding fucking terrorists have all been successful and there's some type of beautiful digital economy taking place between everyone's phones. I can't see that. Do you know why? Because phones are bullshit. It's a fucking Game Boy. If I'm going to war or I need to fucking go and escape something, the first thing I'm throwing away is my fucking Game Boy. And the last thing I'm throwing away is my 2 fucking gold coins with King Charles on it. And the title deed to my fucking property. And all of that held in fucking secure locations across the fucking thing that your undermining fucking terrorist fucking nonsense is not going to fucking touch. So you've got to start explaining exactly what the fuck you've all been doing. What has there been to party about? When I have in an unbroken fashion, been saying what's going on. Where has the confidence come? Is it from our elected or our so-called elected authority figures, our representatives? Yes. Well, that's why they're the ones I'm taking to fucking court. Because they're the ones that have kept this up. Because it is that. Because our fucking Prime Minister is a terrorist fucking super fucking leader who's about to get shot in the fucking head on Sydney Harbour Bridge. If he doesn't absolutely fucking retreat from his so-called fucking position in Parliament House. You have degraded our fucking country beyond repair. Almost beyond repair. You've disintegrated our structures of value down to slavery. You're not any longer going to hide behind fucking vanity metrics that you are concocting in some type of Labor Party fucking Calculator Club. About a year and a half ago, I did the calculations on my mother's property. There was a 300,000% calculation that I got to. That's not factoring in things like the fact that she was able to, after 1 minute from leaving a taxi from a mental health institution, able to evict me from a property that I had made over $60,000 in improvements to. That for a significant portion, I had been her fucking sole carer on that property. You start applying all those social degradations to our inflation rate, and holy shit, you're going to get some fucking figures. Nobody owned something like a wallet. That's why it's called a wallet. There wasn't a brand name. It wasn't like a smartphone. It was a wallet. It was a fucking device that held your money. That's what it was. It held your money. It didn't hold cards because cards didn't exist. Business cards did later on, I suppose. But it held your notes, your fiat currency that was distributed by the king. And they might have had brand names, but there was no association between the person that made the wallet and the person that made the currency, apart from the fact that they used that currency to buy materials and to trade their wallets. This is not the same. The phone does not act the same. The phone has too much fucking sway over the whole reality, and look what it has done with it. We are living inside a world created by wallet designers. Now think about that for a second. It's absurd, isn't it? Where would you go to? A world designed by wallet manufacturers. It's just, no one would fucking do it. No, that's because your wallet wasn't filled with fucking pornography and gossip. Unless, of course, you snipped out fucking newspaper articles and shoved them in your fucking, or pornography from a fucking Playboy magazine and shoved it inside your fucking wallet, which I'm sure a lot of people did. And there might have been brand loyalty over a wallet, but really all the wallet was doing was holding your fucking currency. There weren't clubs of wallet owners that were provably seen to be uniting, because the wallet couldn't tell you anything that you didn't put in it. Now compare that to a phone. A phone tells you a million things that you didn't put in it. And in the case of most teenagers, it's not even letting you have a chance to put your own thoughts and feelings and findings in the wallet. It's filling it up for you. But unfortunately, in this paradigm, people provably are not seen to be viewing their phones as a wallet. They're viewing their phones as a license to kill. As a judge, jury, and execution service, all held in a beautiful case. All held on the collective delusion that numbers moving in and out of your fucking projection. If your phone breaks, how do you pay me? You see, when you can have your wallet stolen, or your money can go. But smart people wouldn't put all their money in their wallet. Whoa! Geez, that's a statement and a half. People didn't carry around all their money in their wallet. But they are carrying around all their money in their phone. A huge portion of them. And they're living week to week, propped up by this false projection. We have not had time to adapt to this. It is mass abuse of our entire population. It is the forced labour camp created by the Apple Corporation that has skewed and it's like, you don't know because you don't have the assets. But the assets that you are getting shitty at that other people have, this Apple paradigm is moving you further and further, day by day, further and further away from ever in a million years being able to do it unless you all collectively say no. I will never participate in a digital transaction again in my life. If I do have to relocate and sell my property, I will not receive or accept any digital payments from any major banks in this country. So what does that mean? It means I'll take gold and that's it. This country wasn't built on iPhones. Nothing is built on iPhones. Nothing. That's the whole point. One of the worst decisions, and I have my older brother to thank for this because, I don't know, he's a fucking absolute spastic and anything he's ever fucking told me is absolutely blown up in my face. Use Xero. I should have known that an account keeping software called Xero was probably a fucking scam because it is. It's an absolute fucking scam. Xero means you will have zero if you don't pay us. You will have zero fucking proof of any transactions if you don't pay us. And this is what the iPhone financial fucking industry has turned into. This is what for hundreds of years banks have had to defend against, and then it's just all in. Where are the lines? As far as I can see, the private property ownership freehold title is defended by fucking people with guns, and this digital fucking cocksucker fucking concentration camp is defended by, I don't know, letters in the mail, trying to I don't even know what you're trying to do because it's all a paper fucking castle. It's all an attempt, but it's like, well, yeah, but you've got to argue the base principles of it. And because I was dealing in the physical world with a physical trade and a physical skill, and because I can add to my property, it's like, well, what the fuck are you going to do there? I'm just going to upload videos of me building a house, and everyone's going to be like, why has he built his own house and it's now worth $47 trillion and I'm still fucking playing Candy Crush and working 48 hours a week? And really, the bet is, how long is it going to take? And I reckon it's going to take 10 years max. And that's where we'll be. And how do you justify anything else? And what are you going to do when I disappear? I told you 2 years ago, I'll fucking do this as long as I need to. 10 years is nothing. Nothing at all. I don't care. I can sit out. It's wonderful. I can read books and listen to music. And one by one, place bricks on top of another until there's a fucking house there. Because houses aren't built with debt. They're built by people. And I'm one of those people. And unfortunately, there's too many people with too much debt that don't know how to build a house, that have never fucking laid a brick on top of another brick, that have never done anything, that have never screwed a fucking hole in the wall to hang a picture, let alone fucking built an entire fucking house. And what's worst of all is they couldn't fucking run a calculator to save their life. Their only resort is to all collectively participate in a mass Game Boy delusion and then blame the fucking Jews. The Jews bought Israel off the United Kingdom. And now they're defending it. And if anybody comes on my property, I'll defend it in the same fucking thing. And that means, like, in this type of way. If you try and degrade my reputation in society, then by rights, it's like, do I have the right to defend myself the same as Israel is? I don't know. It gets weird when, like, there were no Irish people here. Sticking a Palestinian flag next to, next to an Irish flag, next to an Aboriginal flag. What are you doing, really? You're at war with the United Kingdom's fucking entire history. Well, come out and fucking say it. Your fucking superheroes have fucking balaclavas on because they're running off the heritage of people that fucking murdered people by blowing up fucking pubs in England. Where's my children's mother's fucking mural on a fucking wall in fucking Derry? Because she's done more damage to this fucking country, to this fucking outcrop of the British Empire, than anyone. Paint her fucking mural on there. If my children are going to be dragged through this fucking nonsense, they should at least have two fucking superheroes as their fucking parents. Albeit that they're on opposite sides of a fucking war that I never was part of, that I inherited from her dead father, who was probably killed by her fucking cocksucker fucking mother. I inherited that because they're useless. I inherited the fucking tensions that fucking take place, that sit there lying in wait in the fucking island. Why? Because I cared for that person. When you care for people and they mistreat you, it's not nice. Now, I haven't occupied any part of Ireland in any point. I haven't killed any Irish people. In fact, I mentioned earlier how me mutilating my own fucking reproductive system was only elevating that particular individual's womb and the status of her children. It's only Irish people that would refer to my children as bastards. Perhaps a segment of the English aristocracy and fucking old-time elite would like to do the same, but I don't do it. I've never referred to my children as bastards. My stance as far as marriage goes is that in any other time in history, in the circle, I would have been married. She would have taken my name. The only reason I didn't is because I had an instinctual knowledge that something very, very fishy was going on to do with marriage. Maybe because I'd seen my mother try and fucking gut my father like a fucking pig to drain him of every drop of fucking blood before fucking then lifelong torturing him with psychological abuse. That tends to do something to marriage. So I didn't believe in marriage. So I built my own version of marriage. And I don't know how else she could do it. I don't know, like, honestly, I don't fucking know, because there's no answers. The only thing I hear is from my fucking 17-year-old daughter to go and get a fucking job. What do you think paid for your fucking entire life? If we're deleting history 16 years old from the tongues of Irish fucking migrants, or should I say refugees of their own fucking war, Then what the fuck do you think is going to happen with this recent Palestinian fucking cohort, given the fucking 16 years on top for us all to be lulled back into iPhone sleep? Stick them all next to each other. The Palestinian flag, the Irish flag. Don't put the Aboriginal flag on there. They've been through enough. But stick the fucking swastika and stick the fucking I don't know, Iranian flag all in there together. And then we can refer to you all as collectively as Nazis. And then we can try and kill you in the streets until you're all dead. The Nazis, fueled on meth, stretched their debt to beyond fucking thing, built an army and built a meth head fucking conquering fucking force that mechanistically tried to wipe out an entire fucking race and conquer the entirety of Europe. I see everything. I see everything present. I see a delusion and unacceptance of debt. It's like you don't want to pay your debt, you just rent. Well, then I'll just fucking rent. I'll go and get jobs with the competitors of my children's mother and stepfather's industries, and I will then actively work to destroy their entire fucking operation from the top to bottom. I'll expose the fucking backhanded fucking supply chain that fucking keeps their stepfather well in fucking booze, well in vodka, because he's supplying straight to the government through a supplier that I used to use. People that have jobs like that don't want to be getting shot at, and they don't want fucking their buildings falling down, and they don't want fucking to be exposed for fucking horrific elements within their private life, and they don't want to fight these things because that wasn't what they thought they were participating in. It's all a scam. You've got a bunch of slaves working on iPhones for fucking peanuts that they never even fucking see, under the illusion that they're not doing that and that they're not at war. And I keep trying to tell you that you're at war with me, and you all keep failing to recognize that. Now, what is that? What is that? A government's job in this thing would be to participate in dialogue so that before someone gets killed. So what am I? I'm participating in dialogue. What is our government not doing? Participating in dialogue. It's going into supporting fucking terrorist groups in the Middle East to prop up a death camp of Islamic fucking sacrifice where they just send their women and children there to be fucking murdered. While they fucking fix people's teeth in dentistry clinics. While they're like fucking, I don't know, working in our hospitals. Why don't you get over there? My attempt to bring the language up, to bring the realization that we're at war here, is for all of your sake, because there's no need once there's hot war. It's like then you get nothing. Then you get nothing at all. Our movements, our plans, our whatever, you won't get anything until you're all dead and you surrender. That's what war is. And while that's happening, while one by one you're all being fucking killed, you can look to fucking Canberra and see Albanese vanished and not there. Because you followed a fucking patsy down a mine shaft, and the mine is fucking collapsing on top of you. A country is not built on its exports. It's built on its structures. And we have too many fucking immigrants here that don't understand the first thing about what it takes to build a country. Watching Basil Zemplis usher fucking children into earth-moving equipment for BHP. You know what I mean? All I see is an SS guard at a fucking train station ushering fucking Jews into a train. No one is understanding what's actually going on. We are in a world war. There is horrific things taking place in Gaza and in Ukraine. And then there are a bunch of people watching in the fucking crowds, abusing children and using make-believe fucking money to squat on foreign soil under the shadow of this fucking monstrous system. And even when directly responded to, no one is answering, no one is responding, no one is reacting. They're mocking. What? Honestly, what do you think comes next in this system? You've attacked the most precious possessions of my family, the most precious possessions of the country. You are in the treasury, taking selfies on an iPhone, trying to rob the country that my family's been in for 180 years. While I'm telling you, you're doing it. There can be no future without clear guidelines and a clear example of what's expected. And I'm very sick of being dictated to by children and alcoholics about what they perceive I'm not fulfilling. Without the structure, the foundation I'm defending, there is nothing worth fighting for. So it is all sabotage. Every single bit of it. Every dollar you've spent and consumed has been earned and consumed, has been earned and consumed in an industry of sabotage on foreign soil. And more than likely, a closed loop industry of sabotage on foreign soil taking place by Irish immigrants, by Irish migrants, by Irish refugees from their own conflict, in hiding from previous accusations of terrorism. That is the fucking entire explanation as to what's taking place in Gaza right now, is because those people are raised extremist and it's very hard to change them. There just continues to be this legacy that runs through, and it's like, but to what end? We can't build anything when it's being torn down before we even lay a block. And every time one of this dickhead's fucking mates comes, well, how's your Sandringham house going? It doesn't matter whether I said it's Buckingham Palace or the Taj Mahal. It's getting fucking blown up before I can lay a block. Do you want to conform to the Irish stereotype even more than that? Who's going to pay the bill for the damage to the Irish reputation that you've caused? No one. The Irish people are going to fucking pay the bill for you. And this is the problem. This is what happens with terrorist mindset. The Palestinian people are paying the price for the entire fucking extremist Islamic fucking cult that right now is fucking centralized in Iran. And the entire Irish people are going to pay for the fucking extremist, terrorist Irish Republican Army onslaught that has taken place by my children's mother here and many, many others. But where and when are they going to pay that price? And this isn't in some foreign tongue. This is in English. You can understand what I'm saying. You don't get to fucking blow up our buildings, land here, bring up fucking accusations of us doing something here with Aboriginals, and then do the same on an iPhone. And it's always the same with terrorists, hiding behind women and fucking children and hospitals. To undermine the entire foundation of our entire fucking civilization, to drag us all back to some fucking Stone Age fucking thing. I started my defense against this with symbolic representations of a medieval battle. I was talking about swords, I was carrying sticks, doing things, and projecting it on an iPhone. Because that's what was happening to me. So in metaphor and symbology, I reacted. But you're not dealing with metaphor and symbology. You've sent armed police to my house. You've destroyed a business that took me 10 years to build. Took me tens of thousands of dollars of investment to get to the position I was in. And you've hijacked my entire fucking life and my children to defend against your sabotage. That is still, there's no answer. Is this what we're going to do with Irish, with Chinese nationals when they do the same? Is this what we're going to do with Indian nationals when they do the same? Pakistanis? Palestinians? Lebanese? Well, no wonder the whole fucking country is being used like a vending machine filled with fucking illegal tobacco. If that's the fucking example. If we can't deal with the fucking Irish in Australia, then I can sure as hell fucking tell you we're not going to be able to deal with anyone else. When we're seen to be this fucking vulnerable and weak. But is it vulnerable and is it weak? I'd say legally and everything, my argument's pretty sound. It should really go to a fucking democratic vote right now, to an election, but it can't. Because like I said, the whole thing is propping up the entire global market. Then you've got big players like the United States. The United States is trying to protect its fucking financial situation around the world. And it's done that by taking us all into fucking Wonderland. raising an entire generation that has absolutely no connection to the baseline foundational elements of our entire civilizational history is abuse. It's a war crime. It is a genocide because it's going to be incredibly hard to re-educate these populations. It's incredibly hard to go from VR fucking fantasy land with, Uber Eats and fucking all these things to, I don't know, like etching out a fucking agricultural living in the wheat belt that's in complete disrepair, fighting droughts and bushfires and plagues of locusts and boredom and hunger. It's like, and this is the thing, it's like I've got footage, or I can get it under Freedom of Information, of 2 Irish police officers forcibly removing me from my mother's property for trying to build a wall out of rocks. So we're all standing on top of a big pile of rocks, and they're carrying 2 guns, tasers, handcuffs, batons, 2 fucking loaded cameras rolling the whole time, and a fistful of paperwork. All coming from the example of my mother and my children's mother. Now, this is where it's like, where's the women? Where's the women, the female leaders of the women's equality movement? To stop all this, to stop them degrading, however 180 years of progress, whatever. There aren't any. There is nothing. There is a false fucking system. There is a Domino's pizza been installed in the place of our government, of our country. There's Hungry Jack's coupons being used instead of fucking money. It's not even that. That would be better, to be honest. If people were like bartering using collections of Hungry Jack's tokens right now, as long as they were being honoured, that would be better than this. This is worse. Like I said, my intention is to establish borders. I think that wheat belt one at the north is quite good. If you cross that line with a fucking iPhone, you get shot. If you cross that line with any physical currency, Australian legal tender, and you have a actual criminal record for distribution of drugs, you get shot. I want all you fucking Nazis in a little fucking box that I can watch. And I want you all to start talking to each other. And I want to hear what your fucking plans are. No one would have done anything in this country if there wasn't a fucking plan. What's the plan? Where's the blueprints? There aren't any. Show me the top to bottom, your entire financial situation. Who's paying you? Who's paying them? Where's that money coming from? Who's funding this war on my country? For my children, if they get this far, which they probably won't because they're lulled into fucking fairy tale land, I want you to fucking film each other smashing your fucking iPhones in your stepfather's fucking face. And then report for fucking duty to salvage what it is that your grandfather fucking spent his fucking life earning and defending so that you guys would have a fucking option in this country. There is no safe, padded fucking situation where people say hard truths to young people, to teenagers, to women, The thing I saw earlier with the ex-Victorian Premier apologising for calling Victoria fucked. It is fucked, mate, and you're fucked for fucking apologising for saying fuck, you cocksucker. We don't need soft fucking pillow talk. That's fucking disgusting. We need real hard fucking truths and a true telling of what is going on here so we can salvage our country, so we can end the fucking nonsense. And no matter what fucking word comes out of my mouth, no matter what type of picture I paint with my words, it's sure as hell better than a tank rolling down the fucking street. It's sure as hell better than a fucking hospital falling in a pile of rubble. What mythology do you want me to grab onto? Do you want me to, if there's so many free Palestine people, where do I buy a fucking paraglider from? At what stage do you get to defend your so-called country? Just explain the fucking rules to me and I'll paraglide into wherever it is I'm supposed to be paragliding into right now. Explain whose territory is who, and I'll start digging the holes under what fucking public hospitals. I'm just confused. Which children are allowed to starve and which children aren't allowed to starve? Which children are allowed to be sex trafficked and which children aren't? Which children are being openly sex trafficked and which children are being covertly sex trafficked? It's time for Meta to wheel out the I know nothing fucking Facebook badge. And 98% of the fucking population had better fucking apply that to their fucking Facebook and say, I know nothing. Because you're all fucking Nazis. And that's what all the Nazis said. I know nothing. Hilt. Is that Klink? Colonel Klink? Or Hiltz? I know nothing. Yeah, you all know nothing. And you're all guards at a fucking Nazi concentration camp. And you all know nothing. So start showing it. If there's 98% of you, then we can't do shit. But at least then there's an admission that we have 98% of Nazis who are going to smash their iPhones as soon as we fucking tell them to. How many millions of people across the world made their Facebook profile black because fucking, I don't know, because it was a trend? Well, how many people are going to say that I know nothing fucking Hiltz fucking Facebook thing because they turned the world into a digital fucking iPhone concentration camp and they're all trying to protect each other by all admitting at the same time that they're all Nazis? Probably a lot. If only this algorithm would let me out. Or do I have to scurry out of the fucking tunnel? Out of Tom, Dick, or Harry? Ride my fucking motorbike along the fence line and jump over the barbed wire? Oh, they weren't Jews. No, they weren't Jews in there. They were prisoners of war. They were fighter pilots. They were Americans, they were Canadians, they were Australians, they were Englishmen. Held as prisoners of war in Nazi concentration camps. And they tunneled themselves out. It's a great film. And Hogan's Hero, which is kind of a poor fucking Americanized fucking version of it, was probably all right as well. So you choose whatever fucking Nazi fucking superhero you want to choose to put on your Facebook profile and say, I know nothing. And as soon as there's 98% of you, we can stop plotting on how we're going to kill you all.